but
Yeah, I could see that in the
ambulance
wintertime.
district,
I can't.
I don't know.
Go, Mary.
Hi, how is everybody? And welcome to What's New. Iris, what do we got tonight?
We got 3 people.
Good.
We have Stephanie, and we have Lance, and we have Kurt. I knew I'd screw up your name.
You really want to get her, ask her what your last name is.
What's my last name? Reminds me of what's my line?
Pickering?
Pickering.
Pickering. Okay. Kurt Pickering.
That's correct.
And he is with FEMA, and so you guys can all come in and, call in and ask him all kind of questions about the flood and what's going on. So whichever one of you wants to take off first, go ahead.
And we all look at each other.
Steph, you go first.
Ladies first.
Well, sure, I'll go first. That time of year again at St. Genevieve County Memorial Hospital is the annual Women's Health Fair. It's a great event. We've had it now, gosh, I don't even know how many years now. I've lost track. Probably at least 15 years, I would say.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
So I've been up there 13 years, and we've had it since then, and I know it was several years prior to that. So, yeah, upwards of 15 years it's been happening every
We
year.
got lightning strikes again.
Oh.
That's what he said. We're getting the new camera, but it's not here yet.
Oh, okay. And it's going to be on February 27th, Saturday, the 27th, always the fourth Thursday, or the fourth Saturday of February, from 8 to 1. And we've got a pretty good lineup, I think. Of course, we have over 60 vendors, probably closer to 75 vendors this year, and some new ones from around town, so we're happy about that.
Yeah, when I went in the store Saturday, a lot of the girls were telling me, we're going to be in the
Good,
health
good.
fair." Yeah.
No, I think it'll be fun. And you know, the health fair is really almost more of a social event than anything
Yes.
else. It's an awareness event to get people into the hospitals to see what services we have to offer, but it's also just a fun time to just kind of mill around and socialize and pick up a few, tidbits of information about the hospital. We've got free health screenings, blood pressures, PFTs, body fat indexes, which we don't even want to go there, but we have it. We have it for those who want it. Dementia screening and depression screenings, we'll have those all free. And then for a nominal fee, we'll have the lipid panel, that's your cholesterol and triglycerides. You can pay $15 for that, and just call in advance to get a time slot for that. And that number is 883-7720. And then also, we've got some health seminars, we call them, just hour-long presentations in the cafeteria and in the education conference room. And we've got the community center is going to be with us with their PIO workout. Is that how it's pronounced? PIO?
I am not sure, but
You haven't done it.
but go community center though.
Yeah, so they're always part of the fair, and so we're happy to have them talk about this
I'm sure
workout
Margie's
craze.
involved with that, right? Correct.
Well, Kelsey Kurtz is going to present the PIO. I hope that's how it's pronounced. So we'll all find out what that's about.
That's exercise, I
Yeah,
assume.
yeah, it's kind of the latest thing going. At 10 o'clock, Dr. Matthew Bosner is going to talk about DVTs, deep vein thrombosis, and how to keep those out of your future. We have kind of a futuristic theme going this year for our health fair. We always try and have a little theme there. Dr. Teresa Cavins is going to be speaking at 11:15, and she's going to talk about making sense of the guidelines for screening mammography. The guidelines for the screening mams have changed just slightly according to the American Cancer Society. So she's going to kind of set the record straight and tell you more about that. And then at noon, kind of our headliner speaker for the event is Dr. Joe Charlo, and he's going to talk about SculptSure, and it's a new procedure out at Genesis Med Spa. So, Marianne, if you want to, just lay down and have some lasers put on you, and the fat will just melt away like that. It's like Star Trek. It really is that easy.
You're kidding.
No, it really
just
is.
melts.
What it does is
And
the
then you'll be
laser,
wet.
it's totally non-invasive. There's no needles, there's no scalpel, there's nothing. They put this belt around you or whatever portion you want, and there's lasers that are hooked to this laser machine, and they're plugged into you, and you lay there for 25 minutes, and the laser does the work. It penetrates your skin level, and it will melt the fat underneath. It takes
Where
about
does that
25
go?
minutes.
That's what
Where
I
does
was
it
gonna
go?
say, where does it go?
It is eliminated through the body's own processes.
Oh, okay.
And,
If you're healthy, probably.
well, yeah, you don't want to do anything that you're not, if you're not healthy for. But it takes like 25 minutes, and you get up, you drive, you go
And
home,
you-
you go to work. There is no downtime. There is no
Do you have to
recovery
sign
time.
up to be
And you
guinea
weigh
pig?
25 pounds less.
Yeah.
Well, it does cut 25%. 25%. So,
Oh, really?
for those gals who have had a couple of babies and they exercise like mad and they still can't get rid of that little pooch or whatever, it's perfect for that. Those of us who are a little more
Mature.
mature. That's a good word.
I'm really mature.
We still can be a candidate for it, but we may need more than one treatment of it. But it really is futuristic, and it's kind of the way medical aesthetics is going. It's very non-invasive and no downtime, no recovery time, and you're out the door and you're on your way. So I just want to tell you all about that. It's kind of fascinating, really, how they can do that. Grand prize, everyone who comes to the fair will be in the drawing for an Apple iWatch. So that's kind of futuristic all on its own, and a Fitbit.
A Fitbit,
Yeah.
What?
Oh, a
Fitbit.
Fitbit.
What's that?
It tells you every
Fitbit.
move you make.
Yeah, and it keeps track of your heart rate and how many steps you
Tyler's
take during the
got one on
day
his
and
wrist.
Okay.
all kinds of things.
That's
So
what my kids
the Apple
got.
iWatch is sponsored by Lakeland Insurance. They were nice enough to donate that. And the Fitbit is sponsored by Miracle Ear. So we'll have drawings for those. And of course, all of our vendors bring attendance prizes. So there's a lot of things to win and a lot of things to look at during the fair. So we hope people come on out on February the 27th, Saturday from 8 to 1.
And it's always fun.
And
It is,
fun.
it is.
It's always nice.
Yeah,
Sarah?
it's free. We also are going to have, we'll give a plug for the St. Genevieve Community Services Forum. They're going to have a prescription drug take-back, which is always a good service. People have prescription drugs laying around the house. Maybe they don't use them anymore. Maybe they're outdated. Perhaps a family member no longer uses them. An older, parent has died or what have you, and you don't know what to do with drugs,
'cause
and
you're
you don't
not
want to throw them
supposed to
away.
throw
You don't
them
want to dump
away.
them down the drain or anything like that. So this is a perfect way to get rid of them in a very safe and effective way. So all these
What about
drugs.
toothpaste and old lotions and stuff? Do they do that too? Or just?
No,
drugs?
just the prescription
the
drugs.
drugs,
Oh,
yeah.
just the drugs.
Just throw the toothpaste out.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that's okay,
you don't
right?
want to clutter the earth up with metal tubes,
Yeah.
or I don't know what to do with them.
Recycle, I guess. I don't know.
Recycle,
That's
yeah.
another good question.
Yeah.
I gotta find about the toothpaste
Yeah.
and why the
Recycle
cars are-
everything.
Squeeze it
you
until all of it's out and then put it in the recycle.
And speaking of
Tin can.
recycling, I might as well give a plug for the St. Genevieve Rotary Club. We are doing a
plugs.
recycling caps. The bottle caps off of
Is that what
water
that
bottles,
is?
huh?
And you
Water
can make a
bottles and-
bench out of it.
Yeah, we have a bench currently
Yeah.
on display at Country Mart, and that was
So
made-
these are the plastic lids.
yes, plastic caps.
Yeah, I got a little jug like that and fill it up.
Yes. The little
But then you get-
off sour cream, the lid, just the plastic lid.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Any kind of plastic lid, primarily if it's number 2, 4, or 5 recycling, and most things do have the number on them. But most everything that is a food type container, like say the Dream Whip or the sour cream or stuff
And you
like
only
that.
want the lids.
Just the lids, just caps. It's caps for benches is what we're
Okay,
building.
I saw
it.
that and I didn't
It takes
know.
400 pounds of caps to make that bench that's on display.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
that's a lot of caps. So we hope to make that an ongoing project. So
Now, Steph, the caps off of Boost and Ensure, can you use those?
yes,
Oh, God.
I believe I know what ones you're talking
Yeah.
about.
It's what senior citizens use when they're not getting enough.
Oh, I know what Boost is, but
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the cap. But
Yeah.
it should
The
be,
caps
yeah.
are, yeah.
I think
got
it's
them in
blue
mine.
and
Yeah.
about this big around.
Yes, oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
those.
Yeah,
on
and
there.
shampoo caps and,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
yeah. Anything, it can't have metal in it,
Any lid, huh?
pretty much. Pharmaceutical bottles, they're usually pretty good, not the bottle, but the cap. And they do have paper on the inside, paper inserts, so we like for those to be taken out, if at all possible, but we can do that as well. But, yeah, the place we take it to, they'll take all those caps, and we don't like a lot of paper in them, or, you know, glue. Some of the stuff is
Yeah.
glued on it because it gums up their machines. But, you know, a little bit is okay, like on the, they're great for it. The milk jugs, like Farm Fresh, you know, you got that label on top. Those are so hard to get off. And so they say, that's okay, you can leave those on there. So you don't have to mess with that one. But any that are easy to get out, the paper inserts and so forth,
you take
we
them
ask that
out.
they take them out.
Now, where do you take these to?
We've got several places you can take them. You can take them to the St. Genevieve County Health Department. You can also take them to any of the Bank of Bloomsdales, or they call Bloomsdale Bank now, I think. And also City Hall, I believe.
I think so.
I think you've got one here as well.
Yeah, Sue was telling me
Yeah.
about that.
So, yeah, there's several places around town.
Well, I was
that you can
wondering
drop
what the
them off.
caps were. Now we know.
There you go, Rotary Club project.
Yeah, I got
Those
a jug
benches
just
are
my half full.
nice.
I didn't see
Very
them, but
Fits in the
Very
middle.
they had a picture in the paper, didn't they, of the
Uh-huh.
bench? Yes.
Well, they had it out at Country Mart,
Yeah, it still
and
is.
it,
uh-huh.
it really
Is it?
is nice.
It's a
I haven't
big, it's a
seen it.
sturdy bench, yeah. And it's probably gonna outlast all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's a good thing to use
yeah.
because plastic does not go away.
It doesn't, yeah.
It'll
It's
be
to
here when
stay.
our great grandkids
Yeah.
are here.
Yeah,
And
I
look
think
at
so.
all the trash.
Did anybody go into Country Mart today?
Not
Well, if you
today.
get a chance, go in Country Mart, because it's worth it.
Is that the picture they had on Facebook, the dress?
No, it's, when you walked in, it's a church,
Yeah, and then they had a wedding dress and
Yeah.
a guy dress,
but
guy's uniform.
I walked in and I stood there for a minute, and Clayton said, "Mary Ann, what's wrong?" And I said, "I could have swore I didn't go up to church. I came to Country Mart, and now here I am right in church." And it is, it's a church.
What
It's,
is
they
the
got, when you walk in,
display with
it's
it?
for people who's married over 50 years.
Oh, my gosh.
You had to turn your name in, didn't you,
Yeah.
or something? They got wedding pictures
How
showing.
nice is that?
Rowena Wiener's wedding dress is out there.
Oh, is that her?
Yes.
Huh,
Probably
I was
dark.
gonna see if I can, no, I can't get it because I'm not, just don't have Wi-Fi here that I can get
Oh.
onto.
I'll have to go in there.
Anyway, it's really cool. They had
Yeah,
a picture
I'll
on
take a look at
Facebook tonight.
Well, that's good to know.
Do you know the password here?
No, I do not.
You were looking at me like you were so stupid.
Lance, you don't have nothing to say.
No, I'm waiting for my turn.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's your turn.
All right, well. When was the last time I was here? Was it over Halloween?
You were painted.
That was the last time.
That was the
Okay.
last time when
That's
you
it.
were
So that was right before Halloween when I was painted up.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
When you
the
did
reason
that-
why I was painted up too was because of the band that I follow, Tool, right? So it was an album cover that they had did before with another artist called Alex Gray. So I had the talented Charles Dross paint me up for Halloween and stuff. And then I went and saw Tool out in Phoenix, Arizona on Halloween. Not painted up. But I went out there and then after that,
Did you wear your face paint out there?
no, I didn't get to because I didn't
Oh.
get, Chuck wouldn't repaint me up. So he was busy, so that's
And he
okay.
had to wash.
That's okay.
He had to.
Because I actually called Southwest Airlines and they were going to approve me to go on the plane
With the
all
makeup
with all
on?
this on. That's okay though, because it gets better. So anyway, Tool then announced they were going to do a little winter tour in January. So they were going to play in Memphis one night and then Kansas City, St. Louis, and Nashville. So a friend of mine who's also into the band contacted me and asked me if I wanted to kind of, see Tool in a few spots. I said, sure. So we went ahead and got tickets for Memphis and Nashville, and they announced the St. Louis show later on. So I told my friend, I said, well, we should do VIP, see if we can meet Adam Jones, and I'm going to get painted up and see what happens. So we went to Memphis. My friends and I had a great time, and then Friday morning we had to be up there at the arena before noon. So I had to get Chuck out of bed before 8 o'clock in the morning.
You probably worked all night.
He probably.
Who was it?
So
Chuck Drost.
So anyway, I got painted up. The makeup looks just phenomenal, right? Get to the arena, get the VIP thing. They take our phones and stuff. So we go downstairs for question and answer. Adam Jones comes out, who's basically, you know, that keeps the band together and stuff. This guy, he's a real artsy, does stop motion animation, all kinds of weird stuff. So he walks in there, sees me, and just like, whoa, right? So I'm very distracting, you know, sitting here painted up like a half, you know, human anatomy thing with, you know, a skull and the flesh and everything.
Did you see him? That picture in the
I'll show you the
Oh,
picture
my
later.
word.
I got it in my phone, and my eye and my hands all painted up too with the eye coming out here and stuff. So anyway, we got done with question answer, and there's like about 70 of us, I guess, probably in VIP, and he goes, "You come with me." And so my head wants to just go explode or whatever, right? So my friend who's here too looked at me like, "You guys just leave me here?" I said, "I'll see you, dude." I said, "Go ahead and get my bag." So I go with Adam Jones backstage, get to talk a little bit about some things, and took a picture with him and stuff. He put it on his Instagram, and then he sent the picture to the guy who did the original artwork that we copied of. And
They infringed on my copyright.
so no, listen. So he posted on his Facebook and their Instagram, and it just like went viral. So it got like almost 30,000 some likes. I got 1,000 new friends on Facebook in a few days that were requesting me because I was the tool of God or whatever, you know. So it was in St. Louis too, which was cool, my hometown and stuff as well. So we talked, took pictures, and then I was released to go back out with the rest of the group and stuff. So then everybody was like, "What did he say? What did you do?" Da, 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 da. So then the rest of the night from 5 o'clock up until midnight, in between the three bands, I took pictures with people all night long because of the makeup. I mean, just one.
Should have charged.
I would have made a fortune. So, I mean, even leaving, like to the car, I would stop with people on the stairwell, and until I actually got in the car and closed the door and drove away, it was
Pictures.
just, yeah, it was pretty wild. So, it really helped with advertising.
You
and
had
stuff
some of
too.
those backstage things on your Facebook, didn't you? Or on
Yeah, I
Facebook?
posted the
Yeah.
picture and stuff because he posted on his
Yeah,
Facebook
I
and
remember
Instagram, so I
seeing
shared
that,
all
yeah.
that stuff, and it just like went wild. And my phone actually like didn't stop for like over a week, just because the day after, like we were going to Nashville, and I had washed the makeup off, and my phone actually couldn't like handle the traffic. It just like shut down because it was just nonstop with comments and "Oh my God, it's awesome," and you know, so like. But anyway, so we did St. Louis on Friday, went to Nashville, met a few people down there that saw me the night before and saw the makeup and talked, and so I finished my little Tool tour thing and got what I wanted. I got to go backstage, and he actually stopped the drummer and stuff to show me and look at this guy, and I got the round of applause and stuff, so that was cool. He gave me his guitar pick at the end after sound check, which was cool too, so I have that, and so that's
Get his
what's up.
autograph?
Yes,
Oh,
I did,
okay.
of course.
Right
So-
on his head. On this side.
Right, just sign my check. No, so the Tool thing went great. I got to do what I wanted to do. It kind of got me a little bit of celebrity status a little bit, so. But flipping over to Taekwondo, last week I went down to Frona
Yeah.
by Altenburg, and I taught United in Christ Lutheran School and Altenburg Public School came together, 5th through 8th grade, about 115 kids.
Oh, great.
And I got everybody lined up. We did Taekwondo/PE class and totally rocked it down there. With the roof was shaking and stuff. It was so great. So I got invited to go back down there next week and do some more stuff. And
Well, these are all farm kids.
I know. I'm from that
They're
area.
not used to,
The
stuff, yeah.
show. Well, since I was still energized from, like, it was weird because I mean, like, after meeting this guy, like, I was still just like,
You weren't picking up
boom,
though, going down
like
there,
shot out of
right?
a cannon or whatever, you know. So having this big crowd out there, so I totally did kind of like make it into a show where, like, the very beginning got it all, you know, started out real fast. In the middle, we kind of talked about some things, and at the very end, had a big finale. So got called back, going back next Wednesday, doing some more stuff down there. My crew up here in St. John, preparing for tournament season.
Ooh,
We got some they're going to fight this year, I guess. They are doing a Missouri qualifier this year, which that saves a 7-hour drive somewhere else. Hooray. Plus, this weekend, you don't have to be in Taekwondo class, but you can still do the camp. We are doing Camp Worldwide. I put together this weekend at the community center. Friday night from 6 to 9 and Saturday from 4 to 7. So we're doing Taekwondo stuff, we're gonna swim, we're gonna do the track, hit the weights, all kinds of stuff. So if you got some kids out there, drop them off and go eat dinner for Valentine's weekend and come back and get them once you're done. So,
it's great.
and that's what's going on with Tool and Taekwondo.
And seriously, you should have saw him. I mean,
Well, let me, yeah.
he's got pictures.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, Chuck is so good at painting.
Well, that took 3 hours to do. And
Yeah, I remember
Oh.
you said that,
And
yeah.
like when I first went out there, I said, well, Chuck, here's what I want to do. You know, he looked at me.
He's like, you nuts.
Lance, I said, well, I've got to challenge you, Chuck. I mean, I can't just let you, it's a coaching thing. I got to, you know, step it up. So,
now who's the guy that painted?
Chuck Drost. He's a
So I'm not
artist.
familiar with this band, or do
He's
they
an artist.
paint up like
Yeah.
Kiss
I
did, or?
mean, sometimes the lead singer kind of
Well, he
does once in a
works.
while, not so much
Okay.
anymore
He
because
does,
they're
he just,
older. But
Superman book that just came out.
Yeah.
He did
Oh.
some of the, he's on a team that does.
You're there somewhere?
That's me.
Storyboards for comics
Oh, okay.
and stuff. He's,
I see an eye.
Actually,
Oh, that's your
he's-
hand.
Yeah, it's my hand like
Oh,
that.
my
actually,
gosh.
he is,
Wow.
folks, what they're doing is looking at Lance all dressed up,
I want to see it,
all
Lance.
painted up,
All
let's
painted
say,
up,
instead
yes.
of dressed.
My God.
You might remember if you watched our show
Kudos to
that
the
night, how he
artist.
looked. I mean, it was so awesome.
Huh.
If you didn't,
Oh, my God.
have you got a picture somewhere? A photograph?
Yes, I can send you some. If you'd
Okay.
like.
If anybody wants a photograph, call Lance. We'll have 50,000 photographs.
Now, what do you want?
Yes, you can always look up the photographs on my Facebook page
Yeah.
too. It's
Yeah,
all
like
on
He'll
there.
show you.
That's his hand there, and then to the right's his face.
Yep.
Isn't that
What the
wonderful?
hell?
You're not supposed to talk like that, Art.
Oh,
Remember, your kids are
excuse
gonna
That's all
yell
right. I
at
mean,
you.
did that scare you a little bit?
Her little kids are gonna yell at her.
That is awesome.
That is, he's phenomenal.
So,
I can't figure out what's what. This is your hand.
well, here, I'll switch the picture real
What's
quick.
back there? That's his face?
Just
You can
one
see his
side
eye.
of it.
Yes, that's my hand right there.
Yeah.
See that? And there's my face right there. There's my eye.
So
There's my
remember the health fair on Saturday, and
27th.
Oh, okay.
you can call out the hospital
go.
if you need any
Absolutely.
information. 278,
Can you take a picture of
2715.
it?
2715 is the hospital's number? Okay.
There's a delay. Right there.
So I don't think he can pull it in, can he?
I don't know.
You want to pull it in, Charlie? Can you do that? Zoom it right up there. Now adjust your camera. Marianne.
That, I'm not the ugly thing. Sorry, Lance.
Okay,
There.
there's the painting. You can't see it very well, but that's what we're talking about.
You
The
see
top
his hand
part
at the
is his
top.
hand, and then the bottom, kind of mid, is his head. Really bright colors, and an eye in the middle of it,
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Anyway,
That is
it's great.
awesome, though.
So, yeah.
I didn't mean anything bad about when they showed a picture of me.
Well, I mean, this is a funny story too. Like whenever I was backstage doing all this stuff, and they had my phone and stuff, right? So I shouldn't even say this, but whatever. That morning, I posted the picture of Chuck painting my hand with the eye on it, and the song that was on is part of kind of the makeup or whatever. So it was timed just right. So I posted it with the music and stuff. And someone said that I literally have too much time on my hands. So okay. That's fine. I get it, because I'm always out having a good time, I guess, So I put back, it's about the art. And then I had my phone taken away all day. So that night, whenever I got back, like 11:30, and turned my phone back on, this thing was going bonkers. And I went back to where that page was, and these two ladies totally tore into it on my Facebook page about the makeup thing. And because the one girl chimed in about defending the art and defending Tool, and then I guess the other person was having a bad day, I don't know, but like went off, and then she went off back, and it was just whoa, with some hardcore name calling too. I just was like, well, I'm just gonna leave it alone. Because I didn't
I'm not gonna put on there, I don't like it.
Well, I
don't like
wasn't.
it.
I mean, it was so stupid anyway. I mean, it was over nothing at all.
All because you put your hand out.
Yeah, look, we're doing something, and there's a song playing too that says "My Third Eye" or whatever, So whatever. It was awesome though. So I was like riding a wave for like 2 weeks and felt totally charged. Like even my classes up here, like I just knocked it out of the park. I mean, I was pouring sweat, coaching or whatever, like, one more squat or one more push-up or one more kick. But I've started to finally kind of come back down to
Now you're
reality
coming
here in
back
St.
down
John's.
to
So
normal? Okay.
Well, I better leave because I'm gonna be boring after this.
No, you're not.
Oh,
We'll shut Lance up and you
yeah, I'm
can
gonna
go.
get out of here that way, because I'm sure the phone's gonna blow up here in a second, because if you got flood information, it's a big deal. So I know the people of St. John need to know about that too.
so if anybody wants to have, if mom and dad wants to have a nice Valentine's dinner, they can send all the kids out to you.
Come on out, bring your swim gear, towel, and running shoes for the track. And we're gonna do some taekwondo in there too. And then hit the pool at the very end, so be a good workout. You can swim,
That's good.
sign up at the front desk. We'll take care of the details out there, so.
That's nice, and that's Friday evening or all
Friday
every
and
day?
Saturday.
Oh, Friday and
night
Saturday.
and Saturday night, so,
Well, that's nice of you to do that.
yeah, there's
For
a
people to
2-day
go
admission out there. They take care of it at the front desk. It's $30, $15 each night. It's 3 hours.
Well, that's good.
Be well worth it, trust me. They'll get a good workout and get to have a lot of fun
Oh, the
too.
kids will enjoy that.
Yeah, so, and then I return back to Froneburg next week, so. But it
Well,
was-
much success, Lance.
Well, thanks. So, but yeah, I had that little place rocking down there too. I said, "Is this Frona?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, it doesn't sound like Frona." So I said, "I thought Altenburg was here too." Yeah. I said, "Well, I don't hear you." So it was great.
Now, are you going to teach the same age group, 5th to 8th, this time?
Well, I'm going down there for a meeting this time to do some more exciting stuff. So
Oh, well, good.
I'm not actually teaching or performing down there this Wednesday, but going down there with some info and some details and gonna make some plans. So
Well, that's good.
Very good.
So,
Much
yeah.
success.
thank you. Well, I'll leave you ladies.
Well, we got to let
And-
him talk, okay.
I know, I'll get out of your way, and I'll give it to FEMA here.
Thank you.
I know, when FEMA walked in, I was like, is this some kind of an X-file tonight or something?
Well, you have to come back
Something in
with
the
your-
floodwaters down there in St. John that might have mutated. The truth is out there. I know the truth is out
When you
there.
want to come back, give us a buzz.
I will.
All right.
I know you keep up with me on Facebook and all that.
Don't come in painted though.
Why not?
Well, see, if you tell me not to, then I'm going to.
Oh, Lord,
Because you know how I am. I mean,
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
You don't like that? Oh my
I mean,
gosh, you weren't here the night
you
it
get a
was
picture
painted,
together,
were
it
you?
might go viral too.
Yeah, she wasn't here the night you were painted to see it in live.
Oh, it was,
Where was I at?
I
Probably
think it
down
was
at the
when you
bar.
were having it.
At the tavern.
I think it was when you were having your problems.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
really, it was spectacular. It was absolutely out of this world.
All right, well,
Thanks for coming.
See you guys.
see you.
Bye, Lance.
Well,
Now it's your turn, Kurt.
That's tough to follow.
tough act to follow, that's right. Well, what I want to do is if anybody does call in and have any questions, I will answer them as best I can, and if I don't know the answer, I will find out, and we'll figure out how to get the answer to them. I guess the only caution would be is I'd rather people not identify themselves because of privacy concerns. We don't want anybody to know, who's the person who's saying or talking or where they live, that kind of thing. But,
And they could also probably contact City Hall and get a hold of you? you
yeah,
think?
they could go that way.
Okay.
Really the best way to contact FEMA is to call the 800 number that you registered to, especially if you're already registered. And while the Disaster Recovery Center is deployed, that's the best face-to-face contact for this particular disaster. But let me walk through that. We start
All right.
with registration. You can't do anything in terms of getting federal help for this flood without registering first. And there's two ways to do that. You can call, or you can go online to disasterassistance.gov.
Welcome to What's New.
Yes, this is Jeff Lindsay, Superintendent at St. Genevieve R2.
Yes.
I am calling to say we will not have school tomorrow.
Okay. We will,
We'll announce it.
we'll announce it in a little bit. And
I think
thank you
just
very
next-
much for calling.
No problem. Do I also need to call the 298 number or?
I think either that or email to St. John TV. Is that where you want it, on television and radio?
Yes, I've got two numbers. I've got a 7675 number that I just called, and then I've got a 2980 that's for the
2980.
Yeah.
AM radio.
Yes, call that one.
Call that one too. Okay.
Yes, uh-huh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I was so excited, I thought we got a call already.
I did too.
We get all
No
of it.
school tomorrow, guys.
No school
Anybody,
tomorrow.
pass it around.
Yep. So that makes it easier for folks to register tomorrow. No, it doesn't. But what you can do is go to disasterassistance.gov, and I like that way better because it's 24/7, takes 15 to 20 minutes, and you can do it anytime. The other way, what I like to call the old-fashioned way, is to call our 800 number, 800-621-3362, and unless you have a BlackBerry, 3362 on the phone dial is FEMA, and that's why we have that number, 621 FEMA. That also probably takes the same amount of time, 15 to 20 minutes. And that one is operating from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week for now. The hours probably won't change, but the number of days a week, I said probably, and the number of days a week might. Sometimes they stop doing it on Sundays. But for now, you can do it any day between 7 and 10. And to get any assistance, you have to be registered by March 21st. And most of what I'm throwing out here are laws that can't be changed. That's one of them. There's a 60, well, actually there are exceptions to that one. There's a 60-day period from when the president declares a disaster to get in line to get registered. Sometimes it's extended, but it usually is in pretty big disasters. What's a small disaster? But in a Katrina that was extended several times, but it's fairly rare. So people really should get registered as quickly as they can. Once they're registered, we will give them a 9-digit PIN, and if they will keep that, then whenever they communicate with us from then on, if they give us the PIN, just like when you're talking to your bank, it gets easier and faster to locate things through the numbering system. And so although it's it's maybe not very personal, it's a very efficient way to do it. So hang on to your PIN. When you call us to register, you should know your social security number. Most people do. We're going to need an address and maybe two. If you're not in your home because of the damage, you need to know the damaged property address so we can send out an inspector. But we also need to know how to reach you where you are and not at your house that isn't being lived in. That's getting to be less of a problem since everybody has a cell phone, but that was part of sometimes it's been a problem over the years. We get an address for somebody, we go there and the house is vacant because of the damage, and then we don't know where they are. So you get registered. So far, we've had 1,527 approved applications as of close of business yesterday, Tuesday.
Oh my goodness.
And that's statewide, that's not just in the county.
Oh, it's,
But that's in the 33 counties that were designated in Missouri for this event. We have put almost $8.7 million into those applicants. And we're around 30 million in terms of federal money because as of last Friday, and I haven't seen an update, but as of last Friday, we had that figure. It was not that much then, it was about 8.2 million then. But we also had payouts of flood insurance claims, which come from FEMA money, and we had SBA loans, Small Business Administration loans. And all that together, so it totaled $29.2 million last Friday, so it's probably over 30 now. So, I mean, we're helping any way we can. And the way the process works, if you get registered, once you get registered, because you can't do anything if you don't register first, once you get registered, we will try to take care of your housing situation as quickly as possible. So we will find out certain things, probably send out an inspector to verify the losses, and not just the losses, that's more insurance, to verify that your house has problems that keep it from being what you need to live in. We want people to have safe, sanitary, secure, functional housing. That's all we're supposed to do with housing. We don't put it back the way it was. We make it so you can live in it. If you've got a hole in your roof, we'll probably be able to fund fixing that. But our purpose under the law is not to make things the way they were. Most people have insurance, although in floods, oftentimes, if you don't have flood insurance, most private insurance doesn't cover floods. So insurance, a lack of insurance is a larger problem in a flood disaster. But still, our purpose is only to get you through the event in terms of housing, and something else I'll come back to. But the second thing that happens, after we assess the housing situation, most of the time, not always, we refer you over to the Small Business Administration. People go, what? I'm not a business. The Small Business Administration was tasked by Congress because they do loans to businesses, that's how they got into this piece of it. In a disaster, they've been tasked to help people recover through low interest loans that can be to repair the property and make it back the way it was. There are some limits, and I'm not SBA, so I don't want to say I'm wrong, so I don't want to get into them. But there are some limits on how much you can borrow, but also the interest rates are very low, under 2% right now on this disaster. And normally, so many times people, I don't want a loan, and then they run to, the hardware store and buy stuff with a credit card that has an 18% interest rate, or 13 maybe, and it's like, the loan is less than 2%. Don't be scared off by the fact that it's a loan. It's a good thing. And they're up to 30-year terms on them, so they can be very low payments too. SBA will assess your ability to pay back a loan just the way a bank would, and if they think, if you qualify, basically, you'll be offered a loan. If you're not, then they'll refer you back to us for the second step of our grants, and that's called Other Needs Assistance. That deals with things like if you lost a set of dentures in the event, we may be able to help you with that. If you had medical costs because of the disaster, we may be able to help you with that. If your car was damaged and you don't have sufficient insurance on it, we may be able to help you with that. So that kind of thing is, you know, the second sort of thing we do, but both sides of what we do are grants. What SBA does is loans, low interest, but they're loans, you gotta pay them back. So that's, well, as far as to who should register, anyone who lives in a designated county, which St. John is, and who had damage during, weather damage during those dates, and notice I didn't say to their home, as I mentioned, you know, like if your car got floated away, you may be able to get help with that, but only if you registered. So if you had damage during those dates, which were December 23rd through January 9th, then you should register. And we've had a couple of people say, well, I didn't have very much damage. Two things. If you're not in the system when the deadline passes, you can't get any assistance. We call that self-denial or self-elimination. And I don't know why anybody would want to do that. I mean, these are your tax dollars coming back to you. I think people should get registered no matter how little damage they think they had. And then I say they think because in floods more than any other kind of disaster, you get late showing damage. You may not have as little damage as you think you have when you're coming out of a flood situation. So for those two reasons, I would encourage anybody in St. John County and any other county that you reach that is designated in this disaster, and I have a list if you need it, to get registered either way. Wow, that was a really interesting experience doing the whole spiel in one monologue. I've never done that. It's always been a Q&A. But now if we have any questions from viewers, listeners, you know, I'd be happy to try to answer them, and if I don't have the answer or know the answer, I'll get the answer. But anything else that we can talk about, if you have any other questions about how it works, I'll be happy to answer them.
Now they have to register by
March 21st.
March 21st.
Right.
And it doesn't make any difference if how much damage they think they don't have, they
Right.
should still register.
Yeah, if you had any damage at all, I would get registered. I don't know if I would go so far as if you had no damage, but again, in a flood, sometimes you have hidden damage. You don't
Well,
know.
you never know until you start tearing down and
That's right.
start to replace.
And that reminds me, that's something else I could point out. There's no reason to wait to fix things.
I can't see that.
Once we get you registered, or many times people think they shouldn't register until either, you hear two things. You hear, I can't start fixing stuff until I've registered with FEMA, or I can't register with FEMA until I've settled my insurance claim. The insurance claim will probably hold things up because we cannot duplicate insurance, but that doesn't mean you can't register. And you want to
Okay.
get into the system as quickly as you can so you don't forget. And then on the fix-up question, it's a good idea to take pictures before you do it. And if you haven't, that's not a huge problem, but it's easier that way. And then the other thing is, if you keep your receipts, you are going to need to document what your losses were, so that we have documentation. We're trying to be. It's a interesting line we walk because we want to help people as much as we possibly can, but we also have to be careful with U.S. taxpayer dollars, and so we want to make sure that you have coming what we're giving you. Receipts help us with that. So. You know, I just want to make sure that people understand you don't have to wait to register with FEMA to do anything, really. You should talk to your insurance agent, you should file a claim, and you should fix things up. You don't have to hold off doing those things before you register with us.
Is that strictly for, buildings and such? I mean, I'm thinking about all the damage that was done in the big field with the levee breaking at those points.
The roads and things.
There's a public assistance process that is separate from, I'm going to get into names just so that we can keep it all straight. We have two recovery programs, and a third one called mitigation, but we have two that are dedicated to recovery after a disaster. One is, capital letters, this is the official name of the program, individual assistance. And that is us paying money to individual households, families basically, to help with their situations. That can go into home repair. Doesn't go into any outbuilding repair, but it can go into home. We're looking at where you live, and it has to be a primary home. You can't do anything with a secondary home. Then dikes, levees, roads, bridges, public buildings like the one we're sitting in, those things are all covered under public assistance. It's not a separate declaration, but when the president makes a declaration, he declares which programs are turned on. Initially, he only declared individual assistance on this one, and that often happens in a flood because it takes longer to assess damage to bridges and roads than it does to private property. So just today, I'm hearing that there is a public assistance declaration. I don't have the county list, and it's not necessarily the same. So I don't know if St. John will get that. It's possible that counties that didn't get IA will get PA. It's possible that counties will end up on both lists, and it's possible that somebody that got IA won't get PA. IA and PA slip into acronyms, but that's individual assistance and public assistance. So that kind of damage would be covered under PA if St. John is on that list, and I don't know offhand.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Public assistance is us paying government. I like to call it in a slang sort of way, government to government, because the local government will go out and do the work, pay for the work, and then we will reimburse a share. It's usually 75%. We will reimburse a share. Some states kick in, some don't. That's between the state and the locals. But that money is reimbursable after the repairs, and it's it's a whole separate program from the one we're talking about as far as people registry. Oh, speaking of people, I do have one thing that came out this morning. I want to make sure I get in. We have just today turned on free legal advice for Missouri disaster survivors. Now this one is means tested. Most of our stuff is not, but this one is for folks who are needy, low income. That number is 800-829-4128. What that's for is if you are low income and are having a legal problem as a result of the disaster happening, then you could call this 800 number and get legal advice. That's something we do jointly with the Young Lawyers. Young Lawyers, it's Young Lawyers Division of the American Bar Association. And they will help that. All you gotta do is call that 800 number, and I know I said it too fast, so I'll say it again. It's 800-829-4128. Anything else?
Yeah, because there's quite a
A
bit.
lot of
It is
information.
a lot of info. It is.
Yeah.
It's I used to be a reporter, and I remember learning all this stuff when a disaster hit where I worked. And then life went on, and I was 10, 12 years down the road and in another place, and another disaster happened. And I relearned it all again because I'd forgotten it. If you don't, we do this every day, so it's ingrained in us, and we have it like, becomes part of our life and our language. But a disaster happens. Most people will be involved in a disaster in their life, but most people will not be involved in more than one. And it's kind of amusing how I remembered relearning things that I already knew, but I'd forgotten about the way FEMA operates on that second disaster.
And at this point, you don't know how many claims have been in St. Genevieve, statewide,
Right.
how many, but not.
We have we do at some point usually start breaking out county figures, but I don't know what triggers it. We don't do it immediately, and we aren't doing it yet. When we do, they usually are done on a weekly basis, and we can share them at that time, but right now we don't have them to share. I thought I saw you taking a breath. Were you going to ask me something?
What did I do?
It looked like you drew up to say something. Sorry. That was,
I yawned.
oh, is that
Now, you want to give that phone number again, where to contact you if anybody needs any help?
Sure, but let me also give the website, because I think that's better. So if anyone wants to get registered, they can go to disasterassistance.gov. And I've only had this come up once, but since we're long form, that's ANCE assistance, not the plural of assistant. It's disasterassistance.gov. And then the number is 800-621-3362.
Mary Ann's our phone number keeper. She always writes down all the phone numbers.
I like this program. It reminds me of like show and tell when I was in school.
Yeah.
Is that the concept? Was that the original pitch? We'll do show and tell.
We should change it from what's new to show and tell. Oh, my.
Here, I thought we'd get telephone calls.
Yeah,
thought we
especially
would
with
too.
all that
Yeah, but-
information. I mean, that's valuable information.
Yeah, anybody out there that's had some flooding, please call in, because this guy can really help you.
Why do you have your yellow marks all over that book where you wrote telephone numbers down?
That's my flowers.
Flowers
On the page.
on the
You
page.
have them on your page where your telephone numbers are.
That's the important ones.
The ones you got marked, oh, I thought those were the ones you didn't want no more.
No, one of them's even you.
I was gonna say, I hope you're one of them, Rosie.
That's the ones I want to remember, is you and ours. See, that's my memory ones.
That's your memory.
Yeah.
Her memory's in a book.
See, then when I'm out, then I can relate to this book.
Well, I did think we'd get calls, but now I'll throw out a little bit of humor. I know in just about every public speaking or training situation I've ever been in, if somebody makes a spiel and then asks for questions and nobody has any, then he says, "Ooh, I did good. I told you everything you need to know."
But there is
Very
so
true.
much to know.
It is a lot of information.
You know,
It is.
you have so much information and so many different categories to cover.
Yep. Well, we haven't covered disaster recovery centers very much. I mentioned that that's a place to go to get, to get face-to-face assistance.
But if they call this here, is that a number they can get registered on?
They can get registered through the numbers I gave you. You can register at a disaster recovery center. We prefer that you're already registered because it's faster at the DRC for everybody if folks are already registered. But if you can't register for some reason and you come there not registered, the first thing we'll do is register you because we can't do anything else.
Okay, which
At the
was
website,
number?
at the disasterassistance.gov website, there is a field, there is a search engine that will allow you to find, I think it's called DRC Locator, but it's obvious by its name, that you put in a zip code and it will tell you where the nearest disaster recovery center is.
Oh,
And I was going to tell you that. You're kind of halfway between, I have the Cape Girardeau media market for this mission. St. Louis is a different market, but, you're sort of, some of this area is sort of straddling, We have we have 3 in St. Louis. I'm trying to remember which one's the most southern of the 3, but Arnold maybe? Arnold sticks in my mind. So people could go there. There's a disaster recovery center there. They can also go over to Cape Girardeau. There's one there. That one will be there through Saturday. And it's a mobile one, and it's going to move next week. We're not sure where, but it's going to be somewhere else next week.
so which one is it that they could call? That one, this last one you gave me?
To find a DRC, or to
If they need to register.
if they need to register, or if they have any questions at all, including, you could ask them where a DRC is. You could do that. So if you want to call the 800 number, the 621 number, FEMA, 621 FEMA, that's the best way to contact us that there is for anything. I mean, you have to do it first to register, unless, of course, you go through the website,
It's the 800-621?
3362, right, 3362 or FEMA. You could call there and find out where the nearest DRC is to you, although it's simpler to go to the website and put in your zip code. I'm sure not everybody, this is one of the tricky things. I mean, everybody has a computer these days, most people have smartphones. But when you're in a disaster situation, some of those things don't work.
Right.
And we understand that. I think the phone is still probably more.
And there's probably a lot of people that don't even know about this unless somebody tells them because of that.
Could be. So, yeah, we hope everybody, well, this is why we do things like this. We try to reach everybody that didn't know and make sure they know. And if they choose not to register, I don't know why anybody would not go for the help that is offered.
Right.
But I want to make sure they had the chance. That's all we can do is give them a
Yeah.
chance. If they choose not to, well, then they chose not to.
Now, did you interview with Don this morning, or it'll be
Yes.
on radio?
I think it already was.
Oh, it was.
Right.
Well, he'll probably do it more than once.
I did his focus program. Well, now I'm here substituting, I'm pinch hitting. I'm here for someone who's on vacation. And she will be back next week, and I'm sure she will be on Don's radio show again. She may do this one. Now that we know about it, I'm not sure we knew about it.
Yeah, it would be
I knew he
like
did the
the
cable
second
thing.
and the fourth.
Yes.
Wednesday.
Is when it's live. He told me that, and I knew that he had a cable access. I didn't know that it was live, and I didn't know that he wanted us on it. But I spoke with him yesterday, and he said, "Would you like to go on our show tomorrow night?" I was like, "Absolutely." But Deanna will be back next time. Next time you see somebody in this chair from FEMA, it'll be Deanna Fraser. And I'm going to St. Louis to get someone else a vacation.
Oh, so you're the traveling man, huh?
I'm a traveling man. Yep.
Well, it's good. It's good to know, because a lot of times I come in contact with people at the nutrition center, because I'm out there quite a bit. And some of the drivers, some of the people who volunteer out there were in the flood.
Well, if they had any damage to the structure they live in, they should certainly register. And if they had damage to, I mean, I know I said outbuildings don't count, and they don't, but there are some non-house things, like a car, that can be assistance. And I want to obviously stress that none of this is guaranteed in every case. It's all case by case. But if if the conditions are right, you may be able to get help with the car or the medical. We do funerals is another one. We do assist. I don't know that it covers the cost of a funeral, but we do provide money toward a funeral if someone lost a family member in the
Well, they can call in and ask,
That's right. That's right.
and tell them what, they just give them what it is, and
That's
they
right.
can see if they can get the help.
That's why they should register. It all starts with registering.
And that's gotta be before
March 21st,
March 21st.
which is that a Monday, I think?
Now you can go out and give them all kind of information out at the
Yep.
nutrition center.
Because I'll be working Friday, and I should be out there tomorrow.
Oh, you have a calendar in front of you. Is March 21st, what day of the week is that?
That's on Monday.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, yeah, March 21st is the deadline on this one.
Yeah, that's on a Monday. Oh, yeah, this is my calendar. I mark everything that I've got to do on where I've got to be at, because I can't remember.
Did any
I
of you-
have one of them too, but I never look at it.
This is my guidebook. I do that first thing in the morning.
And I have little notes all over.
Oh, no. First thing in the morning I do is have coffee.
Oh, well, that too. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
Coffee's the priority.
That's number
Definitely.
one.
That's the first thing I do when I get out of bed. My feet hit the floor and I run to the coffee pot, make it.
Yep. Well, I know what to get you for Valentine's Day. One of those ones that turns itself on.
Yeah,
I have one of those. My coffee brews itself.
Remote.
I used to have one of those, but it went out and then we started buying the cheaper one. Like the $12
I think
ones
mine
or
cost-
whatever. They work really well too.
I think mine was $40 or $50, but I get up and in fact, if I'm a fairly light sleeper, and many times the coffee pot starts before the alarm goes off.
Then you're
But
awake.
many times it will wake me up. Just that, it's a little quiet click and then
Oh
some
my
dribbling,
gosh.
but it will wake me up sometimes.
Yeah.
And you need to put it further away from you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but then the smell would wake him up.
Well, yeah,
Smell
that's
of
true.
coffee,
Yeah, the
really.
smell of coffee wakes you up. Yeah,
I kind of like that though. It's a pleasant way to wake up.
it is, definitely. So we had Mr. Lance on here and he wasn't decorated tonight, but he had a lot of information.
Oh, yes.
Flying in the moon, whatever.
And the staff had all
I
kinds of.
finally learned how to say Taekwondo. I never could remember it before. And it finally hit my brain.
I look at it every day when I go out to the center to walk.
And then Steph gave us information about the hospital, health fair. So everybody should go to that. With all that, you can spend, how come it's only that many hours with all that stuff?
Well, we find that in the afternoons, once you get past 1 o'clock or so,
Nobody wants to.
Nobody was there?
yeah,
Oh,
they've got
really?
things to do later on, and, they allot the morning for themselves, and that's
Okay.
about it, so.
Okay.
So
well,
we try and end it.
It's always nice.
yeah.
Anytime
Oh, it
I
is.
went, it was
That's
really
great.
nice. So. And then we have Kurt with Mr. FEMA and all the information about the flood, and you give him a call or go on the website, check it out, and be sure to register.
Yep.
And thank you all for coming.
Our pleasure, thank you.
And our next show, I do have some people this time.
Oh my
Woo-hoo.
goodness.
We have Kara Burt with Downtown Renewal, and we're going to have a couple businesses. They haven't committed to a month yet, but I told them we'd start having businesses on where they could promote them.
Well, we got
So-
a new business.
We've got
Charlie
several
Reinhardt.
of them. Yeah, we got Charlie Reinhardt and a Grovero, what's our first, Holly Grovero, making homemade soaps and lotions. All, most of them are allergen free. So if you have any skin problems, she'll mix up the stuff for you just to suit you. Leave out the allergen, whatever you call them, that word. Anyway, she'll mix you little 2-ounce tubs of it because it only keeps 2 weeks without preservatives. So she'll keep you stocked up. When you order it, then you're okay. No, 2 weeks later, she's going to have another one for you as long as you want it. So, anyway, she's a very nice young lady. And then I went and visited, I knew I'd forget her name, the Smells-Like. Do you know what the Smells-Like girl's name is? Anyway, the shop right next to Holly's on Merchant Street is art and a lot of really neat crafts. And she's a very good artist, and she doesn't think she is, but she is. Down on Main Street, the new one is, well, it's pretty new, but not real new, is Eden Farms. And she has just really cool, creative stuff. All kind of, I mean, if you want gifts for kids, young adults rather, not kids, to put in their apartments or in their houses, young marrieds, and like she's got like all types of Raggedy Annie doll type things, and bunnies, and boards with sayings on them, pillows with sayings, just really neat. Cobbler aprons, I mean not cobbler aprons, bib aprons, and all kinds of stuff. Then we have Sam with her rust, and Lisa with her quilling, which is very interesting, and lots of art places. Kara moved uptown on 3rd Street, Kara Burt. She moved into Teresa Bond's building, so she's simple to sassy.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's lots of places to shop in St. John. We need more grocery stores, though.
And is there
clothing
a
store.
square
And
donut
clothing
place?
store.
Yeah, where's the donut?
Okay, that is a Grass girl, but she's married to a Whitaker, I believe. She's Donna Grass, that's out at Secretariat Bloomsdale Grade School, St. Agnes, and she has, it's like rental spaces that she rents out to different people. There's a photographer in there, there's crafts, there's antiques, there's,
Where's this at?
it's in Monia's old building. Monia's.
Oh,
And then they purchased the building, so she's really remodeled it. And the square donuts we're gonna have. It's donuts on the square, so they're making actual
They're
square
actual square
donuts.
donuts. Oh, that is neat.
It is, that's
Now,
the
when is
coolest
this
thing.
gonna
Do they have a square hole in the middle or?
I didn't ask, probably a square one if they're square donuts.
when is this going to open?
I don't know when she's opening,
Oh, my
but she's
gosh.
in there. It's Cindy Purcell. I knew her, then I saw her name
Well,
in the
that's
paper.
neat.
I knew her
Yeah.
name was Cindy. I just remembered when I saw her face. Her name's
That's
Cindy,
neat.
but I can't remember what her last name is, and it's Purcell. And she's gonna be the donut lady, the square donut lady. That
We
is.
need a bakery.
Yeah,
We do.
Yeah,
without.
we do.
And then we have Charlie Reinhardt. He's came back to town, grew up here, was an artist in the Southwest. He had
A well-known
pictures.
artist.
Yes, very well known. And then he lived in, what was the town in Missouri? Up kind of northwest.
St. Louis?
No.
Washington?
Way over there.
Way over.
No, I think it was it Blue Eye or,
It's down from Kansas.
yeah, not too
Yeah,
far, but I
it's
can't
where
remember.
my cousin, not too far from
Well,
where my
anyway,
cousin
he's
lives.
back in town and he's gonna open up soon, it says. So we have a lot of places for everybody to wander around St. John and take a look. So anyway,
Yes.
thank you guys for being on.
Okay, thank you.
And remember, Sunday's Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
So if you have a Valentine, you better get her something.
I
or
know.
You're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, my daughter will remind me. My granddaughter will, that's for sure. Them grandkids do.
I have my computer fixed remotely from a guy in India. And today I was talking to him and I said, "How old are you?" And he says, well, first I told him I was 77, gonna be 77. And I said, "How old are you?" And he said, "I'm 26, but I'm gonna be 27. And anyway, he's a really nice guy. And I said, "Oh, you're one of those young guys that are really good on the computers. You're gonna go far." And he said, "India isn't like that." He said, "You go to your father's business. It's handed down."
Really?
You do what, you go to your.
He said, "My father passed away when I was young, so it got sold to the relatives, or the relatives are doing it. And some point, my brother and I are going to do that." He said, "It doesn't work like that over here." Isn't that a shame? All the talent that young man has.
I'll be darned.
He's very knowledgeable. I just let him plug in on my computer and he takes off with the mouse and does what he wants to do. So anyway, I guess we better say goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye,
Thank you all for
y'all.
coming.
Bye.
And thanks for watching.
And thanks for being here, guys. Okay.
Yes, very much. Yep.